2001 Mazda Protege. We're going to be replacing the front struts. So it doesn't look too bad. We've got 4 top bolts for the struts. We're not going to touch this bolt because we are replacing them with quick struts. The whole assembly comes together. 2 bolts down here, a brake line here, this clip comes off, and the sway bar link bolt here. So should be all we have to do. I started with the sway bar bolt. This one's actually loosened up pretty easily. Occasionally these will seize together and you'll have to get a wrench on this and an Allen in the middle there, but I got lucky. So that is already off. I'll stick the bolt back on here for safekeeping. Next we'll do the brake line clip here. So this, I had better luck just prying on the back here, and now I should be able to get in here. That easy. Now that's out of our way. We'll get these 2 bolts, 17mm on those. The top bolts are 14mm, and there's just 4 here. I'll loosen these. Now we're already loose, and again, we're not going to touch this bolt. And it's really quite easy. I like to put a floor jack under the lower control arm. I don't know if that's really necessary, but I just try to keep the suspension from fully hanging. But those 2 bolts come out, and then I hold on to the bottom of the strut while I loosen the last bolts on the top and just bring it all out. It's pretty easy on this car. And now we're ready to go back together. When I go back in, I keep one of these nuts in my hand, and we're gonna sneak this guy in. Just enough to get one nut on. Now the weight's going to hold that there while we move the brake line and get it a little more lined up here. Alright, so that's going to be about where we're at, so I'll throw a couple other nuts on top. Just loose. Just enough to hold some of the weight. Alright, the other reason for the floor jack is it's going to make it easier. I can just pump this up where I need it to be. And kind of handle it a little too high. Drop her down. And that just makes our life way easier with the floor jack to kind of manipulate, move around, and not have to pick up all this suspension. So putting the brake line back in, you just bring it in like this. Push it forward, push this clip into that little groove, and then I just slightly tap with a rubber mallet. There she goes. In there. And just remember to tighten these. Remember to put the sway bar link back, tighten that, and tighten these 4. On that, you're good to do the other side. And you know, now's a good time to get an alignment after. I know that you were messing with the suspension, but also with the new strut, new springs, things might sit a little different, so it's a good time to get alignment afterwards. On that, you're good.